Yeah, it's very lovely. But it is obviously, as an artist, very different, a different lifestyle. And obviously as an actor, um, I had to find new ways to earn a living. And I did. And that, for anyone who's out there, is what was the best recipe for me, to literally just, in a time of my life, divert it to different things. And I learned I studied massage therapy. I'm a trained sports massage therapist. Literally in the beginning to just make some money, but I love the job.
Hi, good afternoon, Martin. It's so great to see you here on Zoom again.
Yeah, good afternoon. Lovely to see you in Vienna.
The weather looks amazing where you are.
Yeah, we are very nice. Look at me, I'm really red. I just said to a friend, I look like a pig on a spit fry. It's so hot at the moment. It's around about 30 degrees here in Cape Town today. Yeah.
So you're based in Cape Town?
Yeah, I'm based in Cape Town. I'm German, but I'm based in Cape Town for 20 years now. First 6 years, I went back and forth to Germany because I was still shooting a series there, but then I decided to permanently immigrate. I'm very happy.
Oh, really? But okay. So you are an actor, and you're originally from Germany. So what brought you to Cape Town?
How much time do we have? That's a long story. I studied acting in Vienna, actually. So literally where you are with, I think we talked a little bit about it. I don't know what it's called now. It's at the Konservatorium der Stadt that was under Elfriede Ott still. So it was, I don't know, how do you call the university now?
I'm not sure which one, but because there are a few, I think
not the
it could rather, it could have been MUC or
I think it's MUC. It's also a musical theater and so on. But they had an acting branch as well, and I studied with them. Did a lot of theater afterwards, already during my studies in Vienna and in Linz. And then I went to Germany, to Berlin, and wanted to do television. I was quite keen to do television movies. And I had a lot of luck. And spent, I think around about 15 years, I was shooting different series in Germany, from weekly to soaps to beautiful movies, Rosamunde Pilcher in England, and another series in Ireland. And I had the full Monty, which was really great. I did also a little bit of theater in Berlin. But then I came to a point in my career where I was stuck in a way. I was, I think, probably in my mid-end 30s, and I felt like I lived my life in the studio, which is very, it's a blessing to have a lot of work. I was very lucky. But I felt like I'm repeating myself in a way, and I'm getting the same things offered again and again. And to be really honest, I think Germany likes to put people in their boxes in a way.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in the box, it's quite hard to, well, back then, that was, I left in 2008, 9, also with the recession and everything. And I had the feeling I needed to live, to tell more stories. And I found South Africa in 2002 already, I have to say. So I was shooting the series, I found South Africa, fell in love immediately and thought this is just like such a different energy here. And yeah, sounds so stupid, but I was in a fortunate position to buy something. That money I could have only afforded something small in Germany or Europe. But and I just took a leap of faith and thought like, yeah, maybe I'll just try it. And if it doesn't work, and I was going back and forth for 6 years until I realized I have to make a decision, because either my energy was there or it was there.
Oh, yeah.
But not really. It worked for 6 years, but then I didn't.
Because it's totally different, a totally different lifestyle.
Yes, but to be really honest, it's also obviously for your private life. It's you know, you're never really grounded. And I felt I'm a country boy, and I lived a lot in the big cities, like in Vienna. I studied there. I lived in Berlin for 7 years. I lived in Hamburg for 4 years. I lived in Munich for a year for another series. So I had all of this, and here I'm just like, you can see it there a little bit. It's green, you know, and I just love to be outside, and I'm very blessed that I live on a beautiful property. I'm only renting. Sold that is all gone. I don't have any property here anymore, but I have my chicken. I do my honey. I have bees. I learned how to beekeep, and it grounds me, and it's just it's very lovely. But it is obviously, as an artist, a different lifestyle, and obviously as an actor, I had to find new ways to earn a living, and I did. And that, for anyone who's out there, is what was the best recipe for me, to literally just, in a time of my life, divert it to different things. And I learned I studied massage therapy. I'm a trained sports massage therapist, literally in the beginning to just make some money, but I love the job. Don't do it very often anymore, just maybe once a week. I've got a few clients that I still see. I have a boy in a wheelchair that I guide for now 9 years. I see him.
Amazing.
And then I studied photography. So and I work as a freelance photographer here, and work a lot.
But that's also artistic. I mean, that's also creative, to be creative. But I just want to ask you now, because you mentioned that being an actor, and you were sort of typecasted, you were sort of put in these boxes and had to play these specific roles. That was it the same character roles that you sort of were casted in?
Not in the beginning. In the beginning, I was still quite lucky. I had I could try a lot of things. I played a guy with a disability in the beginning, so he was just like, he was still stuck in a body of someone who's, I don't know, 11, something like that. He still walked around with a little doll. And I played a blind person, and so in the beginning, I could try a lot, and I could show my diversity in a way, which was beautiful. But then after I did a series that was quite popular, it was a hospital series, St. Angela. Nobody will remember probably now. But it was running for 5 years, I think, and 3 times a week. And I was very lucky, because I was not typecast, but cast against my type. They were taking back then also a leap of faith, and just casted me not I looked like the nice guy next door, but they casted me in a quite horrible part. He was like the mean guy who's cheating on everyone, who was his uncle was the head of the department. He always backed him up, and it was nice. It was nice to play the baddie. And they loved him. The people, we got a lot of response for him. So they made his story bigger and bigger, and put him a love story, and then the character changed. But after that, I had the feeling the offers that were coming, or the castings, not offers, castings that were coming towards me were more or less in that kind of range in a way. Because, if you do a series for 5 years, it's hard, people they don't take you and say, oh, yeah, he was great, let's put him somewhere else. They rather want to reshuffle and freshen up their minds. And I think it's hard for a lot of people. I mean, this is probably the reason why a lot of people stay also so long in the security of the series, because they know, if I go now, I don't know if I ever gonna get something else that is as good as that.
That's for people who study acting and learn to develop characters and so on. It must be frustrating then to be put in this box and just expect to be the same type of character then.
Yes, yes and no. I don't want to. I think it's also a blessing, because to have work and to be, and to create a character, like, for instance, I don't know, the famous Lindenstraße, or these, nearly every country has a series that runs for 20 years or 30 years or whatever. And I mean, they can develop their character. They live, and it's part of people's lives. They get old with these characters. And it is also, it sounds weird maybe, but it might be even around, sometimes you take on a responsibility because people live your life with you. And so I think it's the way you look at it. It could be also really a blessing, because people need to feed their families and have children, and it's a big security. So it's decisions you make in life. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be? And obviously, in your 20s, you want to have the next challenge and the next challenge. You don't want to stay too long. And in your 30s, you think, that's where I was, after I was in my end 30s. And I thought, like, okay, and what, that's it now? I'll be the doctor for the next 20 years? Or what? And I live in studios? Or do I want to, I don't know, I don't know. Is there something else out there? And there was. Well, there's always something if you choose a different path, And there was. It's obviously not easy always, for me, it wasn't easy in the beginning, as an actor who had a success in a way, and I felt like I left on a high. My last thing was Rosamunde Pilcher. I always wanted to do it. I love romantic movies. I love the genre, and they offered me that. I didn't even have to cast for that. So that was like, yay. And then I left. But it's obviously, and then you sit here in this beautiful country and you think like, okay, so now I'm a massage therapist. And you have to explain that to the German tourists that you sometimes see here. In the beginning, and you also have to adjust your mind to that, but it is life, and it's I don't know, I loved it. I learned so much about people, about myself, through all of the jobs that I do still.
But now that you mentioned this, I spoke to an actress just recently, Maggie Avila. And she went from Mexico to Los Angeles, and we talked about this whole switch, and it's a cultural change really, and you have to adapt. And it's I mean, I know again, coming from South Africa to Vienna or to the UK, it is different, and you have to establish yourself there again and make new contacts and get to know the industry. I'm not in that industry, but I can just imagine in the freelance industry, film industry in South Africa. So was it for you easy? I mean, was it a difficult industry to get into?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes, to be honest, because I was, for a long, long time, I was just cast as the outsider. I don't have the right skin color, obviously, and I don't speak Afrikaans. And so I was only cast as the German or the Russian. My Russian accent is quite good. My Russian English accent is quite good. So I had a couple of Russians that I played. But it wasn't easy. Mm-hmm. But that changed drastically now with Netflix, I really have to say. I think Netflix changed our industry also in the way that things are cast, because you see series from, I don't know, Spain, and it's coming from all over. Mm-hmm. And I also have the feeling we're getting so global, it doesn't really matter anymore. You don't always have to explain that this character that you write, why he has an accent. It doesn't have to be the story. We used to have scripts where it's, he's like, I don't know, he's South African, he got this accent, or it's, if I have a German accent, my accent is not so bad anymore. But obviously you hear that I'm European in a way, or well, maybe you still can hear that I'm German, but it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to explain in the story anymore. And I broke through that glass ceiling. I felt like that literally only in a big time last year. I was cast for the first time in 3 roles that a South African actor could have played, but they choose me. And they didn't even change the name. Dr. Baxter. And I'm William now in this new series that we were talking about it earlier a little bit, where I was just coming from today, from the rehearsals. I'm William, and I'm not really a German name. So it doesn't really matter anymore. And that is very liberating for me as well.
I can imagine. And so this is now still film, is it a television series?
This is a television, the one we're starting. Literally, we started today. We just had a rehearsal. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because it was very interesting for me. Yeah. Never done this before in my life. But this is a series for Netflix. And it's a South African series. I think it's only six episodes. And it's a romantic format, which I really love, and they shoot it in wilderness on the garden. And it's about 3 generations of women, family of the 3 generations: the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter. And I'm playing the love interest, the grandmother.
Oh, okay.
And I'm playing it's a bit like I read it and I immediately thought of Bridges of Madison County with Street.
Oh, I love that
this movie.
Wow.
It just gives a little bit that vibe, because he's a photographer, he's a travel photographer.
Sorry, my hand just went. I was so excited about that. Bridges of Madison County. But yeah,
if I could ever be like him. But anyway, so it's a bit like that, and I'm very flattered to be cast that way, because we literally just talked about it today. I haven't done a love scene in 15 years. I've played a lot of other parts, you know, because that's like, yeah, I was in my early 40s. I think that's the last time I played a romantic part. And then it doesn't exist anymore on television. For me, it didn't. And the world changed. I had, for the first time, I had, and I need to say it right now, intimacy. No, not intimacy. Intimacy.
Yeah.
Coach. Sorry. On set today.
Wow.
So we had a session with someone who's literally guiding every move of our intimate scenes that we have and how comfortable we feel with that. And, you know, and I come from a generation, and that's not long ago, that you just get thrown into the cold water or into the warm bed, however you want to say it. And it's, you know, there's like people adjusting your sheets and this, and you know, you usually have space that's not 60 people watching you, but maybe only 15 or whatever, or 5 if you're lucky, because they send everyone else out. So it was always, we knew what we were doing, but we were not talking about it a lot. You feel comfortable if I do this or I do this. And it is so necessary. It was such an amazing experience to just slowly, step by step, because I've never met this woman. She's a beautiful, wonderful actress, very well known. You know her, Michelle Botis, maybe you know her?
Oh, I know, yeah. I know of her, yeah. She is a beautiful woman, yeah.
She's a wonderful woman. And so fragile in a way. It was lovely. And so I actually, you got me on a good day, because I'm flying a little bit. It was really nice to have that space to practice these things. And we both came out of this long rehearsal and said, gee, we were so excited. And I was driving to Stellenbosch, thought like, oh my God, I got sweaty hands again. Because you get nervous, because it's, you know, yes, I'm in the game for a long time, but it's still, the nervousness is still there.
But Michelle Botis, she's a Afrikaans actress, actually.
Yes.
And she plays the English role then.
Yes, yeah. Well, our scenes this is the first series on Netflix that will be in Afrikaans, but our scenes will be in English.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Well, this is so exciting, but also wonderful that it's a love story, and that it's older people, and you know that it's not just a young, you know, like the usual ones, like rom-coms that we see, just young people.
Yes, and they want to show this, which is lovely as well, in a very nice and delicate way as well, to just you know, we talked a lot about it, you know, because we don't do that anymore. Television. Yeah. It is nice to see. So yeah, I'm very excited about this.
So you have your experience in television. So this must be then also home to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yes and no. Yeah, it is. It's just always new, because you know every team is new and every experience is very different. With but I really have to say, the South African crews and the teams, I just love to work here.
Really?
They are so, I don't know, that they're so wonderful and so experienced, and I never had a really bad experience on set here.
Oh, really?
Very, very, yeah, because it's a small industry. And everybody knows everyone, and you always meet a lot of people that you've worked with before, and there's a lot of hellos, and but people talk as well, obviously. So you, yeah.
And how much does television acting and film acting differ?
Um, time. Time is a big factor. For film, you definitely have more time to practice, more time to, also in front of the camera to just try. Television, often we have the time now to rehearse, but then when we're on set, it will probably go bam, bam, bam. Not the love scenes like that, but no, there we will have some time for that. They told us that, but they told us we have half an hour rehearsal for that. So this is the reason why we're meeting now, and when we get to know each other now, so we can lay the grounds that everything when we are on set can go quickly. With film, this is different. You also have a bit of a phase where you meet before, but then you have, usually, depending on if it's an independent movie or a big budget movie, but you have more time. You have really more time to try, and you have the more quiet moments sometimes where the director just takes you away and you talk for a bit and everyone's waiting. So yeah, that is, I think, the big difference.
Well, you definitely have you're starting to have a South African twang to your
really?
accent. Yeah, I can hear it when you. Yeah, the further we go with it. Yeah, the further we.
Maybe in 10 years' time, I'm gonna be a South African.
Yeah, you already say yeah, so that's a good yeah. But Martin, now your photography, I must say, must compliment you because it's beautiful. I've seen your page and it's beautiful photography. Did that come natural to you then? Because I mean, as an actor and being, it must be also you must be very visual.
Yes. Yeah. A natural in the case that I think both jobs came with a passion as a kid or like a teenager. I was taking pictures of my best friends in school in our cellar downstairs. I had a little studio where I put up like black things or like white sheets, and we were taking, and I took portraits already because I was always interested in faces and people. And so there's a whole series of little black and white pictures that I developed myself already, by myself already. And I was probably, I must have been 14, 15. And before that, I had my father gave me, I wasn't very close to him, but he gave me a camera and I was working with that already. So I remember that, and I often had a camera with me. I love to, on film sets, I love to just take shots of people. And
really?
And then I think over the years, one or two friends asked me to contribute to websites. But then I did a calendar I contributed to calendars, and something was printed in a magazine. And I thought, oh, yeah, all right, not too bad. But I was never confident enough to say I'm good enough to be a photographer because I never studied it. And pardon my French, that's bullshit. It's in your head. But I went to, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to study again. I just did evening classes, literally, but for nearly a year. And with a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful artist who literally just lives out there around the corner from me, Martin Kluge. I did a lot of interviews with him as well, similar to this, and I interviewed him because he became a friend. But I studied with him for a while. And he taught me a lot and gave me a good eye. But I stayed with the portraits. I love portraits, and I love portraying actors and people. I love to get their stories. I tell them a lot of stories if they feel uncomfortable, because it's uncomfortable to sit in front of a camera. Maybe not for the younger generation anymore, because they're so used to their selfies and whatever. But for a lot of people, if someone puts a lens towards you, you start to mirror yourself, and you think like, oh, do I look like, what's going on? And you just need to get them out of their shell and just literally ask questions and start to put them in situations. The actors I always put in situations where I tell them little stories and they need to react to me and need to look down again, to grab a thought and then look up to me instead of staring into the lens and stuff like that. So it's lovely. I love to work with people. And yeah, from that, from the portraits, I started working more and more with theaters to not to do the shots on stage, but do their promotional shots for their posters.
So you have also, and I think because you're an actor as well, so you know what would be good for the theater's marketing.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Because you're an actor, you know what the theater would like how to portray their pieces.
Yes, and that is you're absolutely right, and that is a lovely work as well. It's not a long process, but it's nice to be involved, because I don't know if you saw. No, you couldn't. You were not here. But something I'm very proud of is The Promise, which is a Pulitzer Prize book that was put on stage by a friend of mine now. She's a wonderful actress, but mainly directress, who wrote the stage play for it together with the author. And the process of, usually I meet the actors quite early in the rehearsal process, so they haven't really found the character yet. And then we sit down and say, what can we do? How can we put this, play out for the public? And what do we do? And with this, we just talked about objects. Maybe everyone has something that's, describes their character in their hand. And from that, we went to just one key, because it's literally, The Promise is about a house that is promised to the maid and goes over, I think, 4 generations, and it never ends up at her place, but everyone has the key to this house. So this is what we ended up with, that everyone holds this key differently. Because every person is different, so everyone holds it. And that little thing, and it's just like there, described, shows a lot, about
but what
the person and the character. And so this is a nice process for me as well, to be involved.
I can imagine, because it's not just the photograph, but it's the story behind the photographing, or the...
Exactly. Exactly. And maybe one more interesting thing that for everyone who's interested in photography is, for me, a very interesting journey I started is when I always sometimes feel when I got stuck with something, and that was with my portraits. I went back to my professor and said, do you know what? This is all good. I'm established as a photographer. I do a lot of portraits. I have the feeling I'm doing the same thing over and over again. And he said, okay, come with me. You're gonna learn something. We're gonna destruct your way of working. And he's teaching fine art photography, which is literally, and you see it placed there very conveniently.
Oh, wow.
One of the things that I did. Well, it's standing there, but I just... and it's something where you work with a photo as a base, as a canvas, and use whatever you have in mind. With this, I bleached it. I used bleach, normal household bleach, and went over the print, and it takes off the color out of the picture, and you can shift the color. And then I added different things and whatever. But it's so that's and that's just one process. There's 300 different ways of dealing with it. But that was a very, very interesting process for me to work new with photography. So sometimes you just look for something where you shoot a portrait, but you know you're gonna destroy it, or you cut it and put it back together, or you print it in different sizes and layer it, like, I don't know, whatever you want to do. And that is something that I'm still quite excited about, because it's still pretty new. And it's something that I want to do when I'm older.
Okay. But I expect that you then, when you take the picture, you also think differently. Because you're now thinking on the possibilities of this picture.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And shoot already, or you shoot and then think, oh, could we just do this quickly? Because I can maybe use it. And, just turn your head to the side, and I just have your profile, and I just light it differently, and then I put it in a box, but I know somehow I might use it.
Oh, yeah.
When I have the time. That's unfortunately with art, you need time. You need headspace and time. This is, I'm blessed. At the moment, I don't really have the time.
Yeah. Well, it's having your legs in different places that I think is also difficult, because you have to concentrate on the acting now and then be a photographer. So then again, you're on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, that's true. But it's also fun. It keeps you busy.
Yeah. But how does being a photographer influence your act, and not your acting, but how you say do roles and so on? So you know what the camera is going to show. So does that affect you in a way? Do you being on the other side of the camera?
I love to be on the other side of the camera. Probably more than being in front of the camera anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not true. It's no, it's not true. It's obviously more comfortable, because you're not being in front of the camera is always a vulnerable space. As lovely as it is, and as much as we love it, because otherwise we wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do interviews, if you wouldn't be interested in this too. But it's also, you always give a little bit of your soul, and you're always vulnerable, and it's the challenge, but also it's always a bit scary. What I said today, I was driving there, and suddenly I never have sweaty hands. Suddenly I felt like, what's going on? And then you come back and you think like, oh my God, this was amazing. And this is what I love about the job. Obviously, behind the camera, you're much more in a safe space, but then you can direct me. What I learned also about the camera is insecurities of people, which is sometimes so sad to see, because we don't, I don't see what you see. I just see a beautiful woman. But, there's like people who say, oh my God, I want only to be, this is my good side.
Yeah.
And I don't like this side, and you just have to photograph me from this side, which I'm battling with, especially with young people, because they're so, at the moment, it's all on the, what with Instagram and everything, it's
with all the filters and yeah.
It's difficult. It's difficult because you want to, especially as an actor, you need to be able to show your other sides as well, and your faults, and and obviously, someone who writes a script, they don't have someone and think like, oh my God, she needs to be perfect and beautiful. They want people, they want stories, they want marks in the face, and someone who looks has a story written in their face, and maybe even some sad experiences that you can see under the eyes, and that makes people interesting. That's why we follow them. They don't have to be perfect. And that is that's very interesting for me as well, because obviously we're all, are, how do you say that? If you're in not vain, what is it? What is the word? The German word is, the German word.
Vain, but it is that
idle. But to drop away from that, badly if you're over 50, you're not that, you just don't give a damn anymore.
Exactly.
But a little bit. I looked in the mirror and I thought, gee, I look red. But hey.
But you don't, no. But it is like that. And I think it's also when when you get older and you look back at photographs and you think, hey, look how young I looked. But at the time you think, oh, I look old, or you think you see all the imperfections. But then the older you get, the more you think, no, that wasn't that bad, that I didn't. So I think
exactly. This is what I'd say to some of the actresses when they say, oh, God, yeah, but I don't know. And I looked so much better 5 years. And I said, okay, these pictures, let them lie for a year, and then you love them.
Oh, no, I totally agree with you. But Martin, this is fascinating. This is amazing that you built this life in South Africa, that you took the challenges and overcame the obstacles so that you could have your life there. I really admire you for it. But now, what is still the wishes for you?
Ooh. Well, my big wish for this year is, and I'm working on it because I'm on the jet plane exactly in a week's time.
Yeah.
To Berlin. I signed up with a wonderful agency they are in Berlin and in London, end of last year, and they are having an event at the Berlinale Film Festival, literally to the opening of the Berlinale Film Festival. So what I do at the moment is I want to put my feelers out just to see what's out there for me back in Germany. So I'm going a little bit back. Not that I want to, what do I say? Not that I want to live there permanently, but I would like to work there again. I think there might be something for me. I have the feeling there's something for me waiting. Sometimes, I follow my gut feeling. And it's funny because it's a friend of mine said to me, you will be, I don't know, when you're in your 50s or 60s, you will be the Berg doctor. Oh. I'm not the Berg doctor, but I just have the feeling there might be something waiting for me. And I just, I had luck that I signed with this German agency, and I just want to put my not my feelers out. I just want to put the rod out, you know,
Yeah.
to just, and I prepared everything. I have, gladly, I have 5 productions now coming out this year that I have in my backpack, where I can show some things as well. And 3 of them will be, 2 will be on Netflix and 2 will be shown in Germany as well. So that's 4 literally. And yeah, so I think I'm in a good space at the moment to go back. And that'll be very interesting to see. I still know a couple of people there in the industry, and just have a look what it will bring. That's my wish for this year, to just put some seeds in, just see what comes up.
Because the world is also like open. It's open, you know. We can do all these things. I mean, look here, we're talking over Zoom, and previously, you know, this was not possible.
Exactly.
So I think, yeah,
castings are done by Zoom. You know, directors. I talk to directors via Zoom. You know, and you can do e-casting. So it's all possible. It's getting all more global, and this is I thought it's a good chance for me.
So there's a possibility that I will see you in Vienna soon.
Ooh, I would love to. Yes, I would love to come back to Vienna. I have to, because that's where I studied, and I still got a couple of friends there. So yeah, it's probably not this year, but I'd love to come next year. This year I want to be.
So that's the wish for this year, and then you'll see how it goes, and go back and forth to South Africa.
Exactly. Just to see if something comes up. It might be even only for next year, but it's planting the seeds. That's what I can always recommend. That worked for me quite well. It's to put planting seeds, put an energy into something, work hard for it, do everything, put your ducks in a row, and then just leave it. And, you know, and step back and see if they grow or not. That's all I can do. And I'm not, that's the wonderful thing with 50. I can really say I'm not that tense anymore, where I think I did this and I have to, why isn't it coming? Therefore, and that's good, I do have other things that I also love. So it's just, cooking.
Well, I believed when I turned 50, I thought to myself,
when you're not 50 yet.
I'm almost 59. I'm 59 now, but when I turned 50, I said to myself, this is the second part of my life. I've lived the first 50 years, so the next, I wouldn't say 50. I want to live till I'm 112. So I thought, so the next part of my life started when I turned 50. So in my second life, I'm only 9 years old. You see,
I would be only 5.
Yeah. No, it's exciting, because it's like you say, you do things, but you do it a little bit differently, and I think that's a good thing.
And this is the thing, you know. I think I hear a lot of people always say, I wish I would have known that when I was younger. No, do it now. You know why? Yeah. You can still do the things now. It doesn't,
And I think it's, you know, my dad's 86 and he's still working, and he's doing things, and I think I want to also not retire, just keep on doing, keep on taking up new challenges. I think that
because you're a photographer as well, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm a bit of a cowboy with a camera.
That's good. I love
that. I'm not as artistic as you are, and with the fine detail. I just shoot. But anyway, Martin, this was so great to talk to you. I really hope to see you in Vienna. If I don't see you in South Africa.
We definitely do that. We're going to go for whatever you like. Apfelstrudel, Linzertorte, wine.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll do the round of the city.
Yes.
But really thank you so much. This is so interesting, your life, and it's really inspiring to see how you've managed to create your life in South Africa. And I'll be looking out for the Netflix series.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you when it's coming. I don't know yet. Yeah, okay. It will be all right.
But by the time it comes, I'll put the link in the description. It might be in the future, but I'll still do that. And because I like the actress also that you're playing with, Michelle. Yeah. I admire her work really.
She looks beautiful now. She got gray hair. She had always this black hair, but she got gray hair now. She looks beautiful.
Really? Maybe I should talk to her too.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin. Have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely lovely. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.